Hi, today we will be talking about working on a soul selling project. What typically a soul selling project means is that you have exclusive rights to or to market a project and you are the sole authority who is responsible for selling of the project. Now when we talk about selling a project, obviously there are a lot of things that we have to consider, and more importantly you are practically working as a builder's person at the place of the project. What you are becoming is you are becoming the seller yourself, and hence you have to understand what all things and roles that you have to play while you market a project. And obviously, at all stages of the selling of the project, you have to maintain confidence of the builder himself so as to ensure that he constantly believes in you, that you'll be able to sell all the properties for him in the project as per se. Moving forward, the first thing that you have to do is talk about the Remax network in a big way while we talk about marketing the project. While we talk about the Remax network, the biggest advantages that come with Remax are the wide network, the brand, the technology, or highly qualified agents that you have in your team to market the project. You can also be talking about, say, our presence in 90 countries, or the 7,000 offices, or more than 100,000 agents, or maybe the experience of more than 40 years in real estate, which you can mention at all stages in order to ensure that the builder has a lot of faith and trust in you as a person, in the company as a whole, and the brand which is backing the whole project. The idea is to ensure that you are able to actually get the project first in a complete manner, and the builder has exclusive faith in you that yes, he wants to market the project with you. You also have to talk about your broker office in a big way. Now, when we talk about the broker office, you can be talking about your past experience in handling projects. Now, these past experiences in handling projects could be in terms of maybe the various other projects that you might have marketed, or even if you have done any open ended projects, you can talk about the experience over there also. You can talk about the profile of the broker owner in the office because that adds a lot of value into the overall profile that you are building for yourself. You could talk about the awards that you have won, maybe at a regional level, maybe at a national level, and these awards can help you in making transactions, or maybe building more confidence as to you being an established player with the overall system. The training that you would have undergone, be it in terms of what I would call the training systems or the overall platform that you would have understood, and how these trainings have helped you or empowered you into doing more real estate transactions. You being maybe one of the first franchised offices of Remax in that particular city, or one of the biggest offices. You can also talk about your strong presence in corporates and maybe builder circles. And you can definitely talk about maybe your office having system driven processes to make transactions smooth and everything. We obviously have covered a lot in our other training program, which was about building your personal profile. And you can go through that to get a feel or an overview as to how exactly you can build a profile of yourself so as to ensure that the builder definitely gets more confidence in you. You can mention your past clients. I've taken over here, for example, maybe builders that you would have worked with. Now, this all the builders are from Pune. Similarly, a Bombay maybe franchised office can talk about maybe builders of say Bombay Realty or Tata or Lodha, and similarly, Ahmedabad-based builders can talk about maybe say Bakeri or maybe Sun or Dev or any of these groups where they have done transactions. And when we talk about doing transactions with these builders, I understand that most of you would not have done any kind of exclusive mandate with the top builders. But what we are talking about is that yes, we have worked with all these players, and after working with all these players, we have had reasonable success so that we can now go forward and take up exclusive projects with maybe a small mid-sized builder, which maybe is what we are targeting while we go forward for taking a project with one of them. What's the basic definition of marketing? And if we try to understand the basic definition of marketing first, then automatically we know all the activities that we need to do to take forward a marketing of a soul selling project. So, marketing is the activity or a set of instructions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So, what we are trying to talk over here is building activities, be it instructions and processes, so as to ensure that we are able to deliver value for our customers, clients, partners, and society in general. What we want to do is ensure that through our marketing efforts, we are able to reach out to the buyers of the said property that we want to market. And once we are able to reach out to those buyers, automatically we know that we'll be able to take the transaction forward. What are the basic 7 P's of marketing? I know that this will look a little bit of what you would call theoretical definition of marketing, but how applicable it is to real estate broking scenario is what I would just explain in the next few slides. But just for a brief overview, the 7 P's of marketing, which as mentioned in the slide, are product, price, promotion, place, packaging, positioning, and people. The product obviously is the product that you want to market, and hence your duty or your responsibility, or whilst you work on the product, you have to ensure that you compare your product with all comparable offerings in the marketplace on a time to time basis. Now, when we talk about comparable offerings in the marketplace, there are 2 3 significant points that you need to understand and consider. One of the basic things is that you need to compare matching properties. So a 2 BHK can be compared only with another 2 BHK or maybe at max 3 BHK, but you cannot compare a 2 BHK apartment with a bungalow, or rates of a 2 BHK apartment with maybe the rates of a say 5 BHK apartments. What happens is, typically in a market scenario, most of the time say 2 BHK apartments are available, but 5 BHK apartments are not available, and hence probably the price of a 5 BHK apartment is having higher value on a per square feet basis than an individual 2 BHK apartment. Similarly, we can talk about comparative market analysis report to determine the correct product pricing on a quarterly basis. You have to understand that ultimately you are selling the product for the builder, and because the builder is going to get the ultimate revenue out of the transactions, he has to be in constant confidence as to what price are we selling the project, and based on that confidence it is automatically going to work out as to how he wants to take it forward. You can talk about in detail the features, the amenities, the project strengths, and weaknesses that you have on a quarterly basis and discuss them with the builder as to why each of them is helping you sell the project or why each of them is not helping you in marketing or selling of the project. The basic idea is that if a neighboring project gets launched in the current quarter, then automatically the sales of our project are going to get affected. And how are we going to negate that entire aspect is what we are going to understand by trying to understand the product uh, in detail, and accordingly build on the whole product offering to take it forward. Similarly, when we talk about pricing of the project, compare the price of the product to available products in the nearby market. Now, when we talk about again comparing the price, we have to compare the price to options which are actually available, and these options are typically which are comparable options. We cannot compare our product to options which are not comparable, and hence we have to be very careful in terms of understanding what are we comparing to what. Apples have to be compared as a fruit to maybe oranges, but apples cannot be compared to vegetables. That's the kind of understanding that we need to have. Price it as per the needs of the financing of the builder and try to bring maximum profitability for the builder. Now, when we talk about financing of the requirements of the builder might have specific requirements. He wants to maybe sell 5 flats immediately. He wants to maybe sell 10 flats at a later stage. He wants to sell the entire project as a finished basis. So all of this has to be understood from the builder, and based on that the pricing can be determined. It is not necessary that you have to sell maybe 2 flats every month. Maybe the builder wants you to go aggressively right now, and maybe then he wants to go aggressively once the product or the project is completed, or he wants to sell it at a finished cost because he wants to get a higher cost for the entire project. So understand from the builder as to what are his finance requirements, and based on the requirements of finance you can price the project, which can help you in getting confidence of the builder to work with you. Moreover, try to understand one important thing, that wrong pricing can help nearby projects. What happens if you are marketing an overpriced project is that people will come to your project, they will see your project, and they'll also visit maybe few more options in the vicinity. When they visit a few more options in the vicinity, what they see is that your project or your product is overpriced, and then they feel that okay, if this is an overpriced product, let me go and buy the neighboring project, automatically leading to a situation that you actually generated the lead, you actually followed up on the lead, and ultimately you helped the neighboring project sell because you had priced your project maybe 10-20% higher than what the market rate was actually allowing you to sell the project at. You have to understand that you need to do a lot of promotion. Now, when we talk about promotion, promotion can be done in coordination with the builder, on behalf of the builder, or it could be done by the builder himself using your name in the marketing material. Now, when we talk of promotion, ultimately what happens is that you are doing a lot of activities, and these activities lead to what you would call you being able to generate a lot of client interest, and this client interest leads to what you would call ultimate transaction pipeline for you. So when we talk about activities, various level of activities which can be done are at a local level. You could be doing local channel operators and you could be advertising over there. You can be doing maybe local radio ads, out of home advertising which can be done in various media places. Say for example, Cafe Coffee Day or Future Group banners like say Central or maybe Pantaloons. All of them have Future Group out of home media where maybe you can market your projects. You could be doing it in nearby cinema halls or hoardings at local places. Lot of magazines and local supplements also actually help you in marketing the project. It at least brings a lot of awareness for the project. And when we talk of awareness for the project, it automatically leads to what you would call promotion happening or taking place at your place. And so automatically you are able to take things forward in your market, leading to what you would call when a person comes to visit your site office, he automatically says that yes, I've seen your banner at so and so location. He says that okay, I've seen your radio, heard your radio advertisement. So all of this definitely helps in what you would call bringing awareness about the product, and because of that automatically the chances of transactions going forward increases. You could also be looking at maybe any kind of mail campaigns, be it at an email level or maybe a personal or individual flyer level campaign which can be done for the project. You could be doing any kind of sales promotion activities which could be done at various places. Flyers which are dropped into all the neighboring societies and neighboring markets. You could be talking about malls, stations, railway stations have worked in Bombay market, or maybe offices, office complex locations wherein you would want to market the project. Telemarketing about the project to various people can also be done. Brochures about the project can be marketed. You have to understand that the builder himself cannot go out in the market and say that he is selling the project at this price and please come and say visit the project or something like that. What people want to hear is that okay, I am a project marketing consultant, and because I am marketing this project, I have been authorized by the builder to sell this project, and so I am marketing the project on his behalf. Automatically what you are doing is, on behalf of the builder, you are not showing a desperation or a need of the builder to sell the project or the product, but you are doing it on his behalf, and so the faith of the customer also increases whilst we are doing this activity. We could be doing a lot of web promotion also, which could be a separate website that you want to have. Specific promotion maybe through Google AdWords that you want to plan. Say for example, you are planning to market a project in Mulund area, and when someone searches flats in Mulund, that's the time that you would want that your ad appears and so automatically you might get an extra edge over customers or maybe other companies in the market. You could also look at social media promotion, maybe through Facebook, maybe through LinkedIn or YouTube or any of these channels. You can also talk about listing on key portals like Magic Bricks, 99 Acres, maybe Makan, maybe any of India Properties or India Homes. And through these properties or these portals, you might look at generating a lot of leads. You can also look at managed promotion on various portals by ensuring that maybe your listing appears on the top at a peak season period. Say for example, you are just going to launch the sample flat, and before the sample flat gets launched, you might want to collect inquiries, or maybe once it is launched, you want to promote it extra. So you can manage your promotions on these portals by ensuring that people get more visibility about the whole thing, and obviously search engine optimization, maybe by building a website or by ensuring that this activity has been put up at various places. You are ensuring that the entire project gets more highlight than maybe neighboring competing projects on the web as well. You could also be looking at event based promotions, and this actually works a lot in when you are actually looking at picking up the entire activity of marketing and selling a project. So say for example, key milestones of a project. So the key milestones could be at a pre-launch phase or maybe bhumi pujan, or you could be talking of launch or sample flat ready kind of stage. So all of this could be an activity or an event which can be used to market the project, and because of that activity you are able to generate enough buyer interest to maybe sell or close a few transactions out of the whole thing. You could also be looking at festival based selling. Maybe in Maharashtra there's a lot of significance for Akshay Tritiya, or maybe you are looking at Diwali or Christmas. Like various times are considered auspicious for buying a new property, and in India typically most people still consider that yes, all of this is important. So all you are doing is trying to leverage or capitalize on the whole thing so as to ensure that you are able to take it forward. You could also be looking at doing education based events, and these events could be in terms of ensuring that you meet a lot of brokers, channel partners, or end users in these places and look at marketing or selling the project through them or via them so as to ensure that the transaction goes through faster. You can also look at doing maybe CSR events or maybe any kind of blood donation drive, charity walks that you might be doing for a social cause. And at the same place, you want to maybe market the project parallelly so as to ensure that more and more activity keeps on happening at the place so as to take it forward. You have to ensure that the project gets promoted at the right place. And when we talk at the promotion at the right place, it could be participation in exhibitions at national and international level to sell the product. You could be targeting maybe specific corporates in the neighborhood vicinity or neighborhood locality so as to ensure that they get awareness about the project, and then you are taking it forward by marketing to them and then helping them understand that why the project makes more sense for their employees to invest into. You could also be looking at doing a lot of local promotions like say in MCHI or in Times Property Show or DNA Property kind of places wherein you get a lot of inquiries or buyer interest, and that project then gets accordingly marketed in the local area. You could be looking at doing a lot of international property shows, like say for example Sumansa, Pan Eastern, or there are other companies which look at marketing the project only in Middle East countries or African countries or European countries, and then accordingly you are marketing it so as to ensure that more and more people come to know about it, and then they are able to take it forward. You could also be looking at packaging the whole thing in the best possible manner. Now we have to understand that there is a lot of content which needs to be designed over here, and this entire content has to be coordinated with a good design person. So as what we get as output, be it good brochures, be it good videos or virtual tours, maybe commercials or any kind of advertising, all of this is basically packaging the project in the right manner and accordingly ensuring that it reaches the right target audience. Now, good packaging could be the full brochure.
But if the brochure is going to say ultimately not appeal to what you would call end users, then it does not make any value. Say for example, your project is where the product ticket size is said something like 20 lakh rupees. Then for a 20 lakh rupee ticket size, you have to ensure that your brochure is not really very high, because if it's really luxurious kind of thing, an end user might think that okay, this is not the level of living that I'll be able to afford, and if he thinks that he's not able to afford that thing, then he might get distracted or might go away thinking that this is not the place that where I'll be able to stay at a long term kind of thing. You have to position it that it ultimately sells and then ensure that genuine buyers are able to consider the product. So you have to build a brand which customers perceive us as positive and position the brand as customer centric so as to ensure that you build enough faith for the customers in the market. Also help define a position in the market and work towards achieving excellence in the same category. Lot of new awards take place, award ceremonies take place, or maybe a lot of rating agencies have come up in the market who rate projects. You could be looking at doing all of this to ensure that you are ultimately able to take it forward and then ensure that you are able to market the project accordingly. Ensure that the people who are marketing or sitting at the project are really well trained. Now, when we talk about the people, it is we who are going to market the project, and we are the only people who are responsible for selling the project on a fixed time basis. Now, when we talk about people, you could be having trained agents, or you could be having staff who could be probably marketing the project. We have various examples wherein maybe professional real estate agents who have joined different franchised offices are marketing the project, or it is done through maybe staff of a certain assistant or who work as assistants with the existing agents, and they are probably marketing the project. So define as to who are going to sit at the project, at what time intervals they are going to sit at the project. Are they going to be sitting there permanently? Are they going to be sitting there on a rotation basis? Or you want your staff to sit over there? What exactly do you want your people to be doing is really important if it is defined really well. What you are doing is local association promotion, be it your local real estate association, or be it the builder association or any kind of other associations that you are maybe part of, and accordingly ensuring that you are marketing the project in those circles as well. Your idea is to create that agent centric approach wherein you are able to work with more and more agents of the market so as to ensure that these agents go out in the market and promote your property. And so if there are more people selling your project on field, automatically the project is going to sell faster, which is what you want to try and achieve as you go forward selling your project. You can also tie up with major housing finance companies, be it in terms of say HDFC or State Bank or any of these major corporate houses who can help you actually market the project, and then accordingly you can take it forward because they are going to be providing home loans to all the customers who are going to be part of this project. Ensure local key influencers are updated and appraised on a regular basis. Now, when we talk of local key influencers, we are talking of maybe the local politicians or the local chartered accountants, the lawyers, people who can influence, maybe even the society chairman. So, all of these people are people who can recommend a few people to look for and take the project forward. And you might look at influencing them or helping or taking their help to ensure that your project also gets marketed. You can also look at a lot of community involvement, which can be raising of issues of local concern and participation, so as to ensure that marketing of the project also goes through in a parallel manner. Be very careful of who is going to bear the cost of marketing. Now, sometimes it is possible that the builder is going to bear the cost of marketing. Sometimes the builder is going to share the cost of marketing, and in certain cases the broker take up the responsibility of marketing as a whole also. So be very clear and be very sure as to who is going to bear the cost of marketing, and based on that take a balanced approach as to how exactly you can take the whole thing forward. Also be sure of who will give you the site office or the sales office, and who will be responsible for the housekeeping agencies, and who will man the entire site office and the sales office. When we talk of housekeeping agencies, there are various people who are involved, be it the peon or maybe the person who serves coffee, and which type of coffee. So all of this becomes an important aspect as to who will bear the overall cost of these things. Be clear on to when to say no and understand your profitability game. Each broker office owner knows that what his profitability game is, and based on that he has to build an entire plan as to how he'll be taking it forward. So accordingly ensure that you know where your profitability is lies, and at what percentage you'll be able to ensure maximum profits is what you have to define out of the whole thing, and then accordingly take it forward. Be very careful that there is no parallel selling on the project. Parallel selling could be from the builder himself, or it could be from other brokers in the market. And if they are going to sell the project parallelly, then they could be quoting a different rate, and you could be caught quoting a different rate, which leads to what you would call problems at the end of the customer, and you yourself will not be able to give a fixed rate to the customers of the project. You have to always remember that you are loyal to the seller in the transaction, and hence getting maximum value for the seller in the transaction is your single biggest responsibility as you go forward to market this project. So ensure that you are able to market this project by ensuring that you remain loyal to the seller and focus on getting maximum value out of the project for the seller from the project. Thank you very much for your time. Feel free to ask any of your questions on helpdesk.mgm@remax.in, or you can always send us or visit us on our website, which is www.remax-mgm.com, and we'll be more than happy to help you to take things forward.